Hello, Brittany here with Ohana Oracle, and today we are going to run through the Sun and Moon Tarot by Vanessa Decort, helping y'all just know what you're tapping into, and if you haven't bought it yet, just see the different cards. The Sun and Moon Tarot, I always say this, but it's one of my favorites, especially for tapping into readings to do with love. You could see by the image depicted on the box, it's just a beautiful, it shows beautiful connections between people. The way their bodies are just interlaced and leaning in towards one another is just so vivid. So it's a really amazing tarot deck for love relationships and tapping into love futures. And also just breaking down what's going on outside of the ego, right? So this is the box, and it is one of your standard boxes, so it's not super durable. But I've had mine for about, I want to say 4 to 6 months, and I've taken it around with me a lot. I do readings in my my holistic privates, my intuitive healing privates, so I'll just throw it in my bag. So I'm not the gentlest with it, but you'll see that it's just a little beat up from about 4 to 6 months travel. On that note, my guidebook's a little beat up. This one I had left the box on the ground, and my dogs ripped the first few pages off of my guidebook, so I am missing pages 1 to 9, but they were really more copyright and a little bit more about the author. So I got the good stuff for reading wise. Tapping into starting page 9 on the major arcana. And what I love about Vanessa's styling of guidebook is she really taps into the astro connections. She taps into, like the Fool linked with Uranus, and then what does that mean? It means it's associated with the principles of courage, ecstasy, without fear, and acting impulsively. So this is a really cool way to start understanding the major arcana, and she does a great job of depicting the major arcana as historically was tapped into as a journey through enlightenment, and each of the major arcana building on one another. And she doesn't say it so much, but she does a great job of showing that. She also taps into Greek mythology a lot throughout her images, and so her images are very vivid. And she kind of explains to you throughout where her deepest connections are. And she's just, you can tell she is a high thinker because there's a lot of thought in this deck. And it's a relatively cheap deck for how beautiful it is. Especially, I tend to get a lot of them in these boxes that are just so expensive and you're like, where did the money go? But she just does a great job. The colors on these, you'll see in a moment, are beautiful. And the deck itself is beautiful, and it's relatively cheap. I think it's about 16 bucks on Amazon, and that link will be below. So in her guidebook, the major arcana and the minor arcana are very similar. She has, for a lot of these, she'll give the traditional connections, temperance, but also another one that she taps into are like death and rebirth. There's another one here. But what I love is that throughout the cards, the Ion and Judgment, which just kind of gives you really high vibration ways of looking at things, which some can be very confusing, but I find that they help me get out of my own ego a lot. But what I was saying is I love about her is for the minor arcana, for 2 through 10, she writes a word, a key word tapping into, and I find it so amazing because her mind is so brilliant. She tends to make things a little bit more positive while keeping it real, or just maybe not even positive, but just a little bit more cut through and to the point of it. So I love that about her deck. And then at the end, she has just one spread. Even though there are more pages than the other ones, there aren't any more spreads. This is just the only spread she offers, and she teaches you just a way to read, a yin and yang reading. So she really taps into the yin and the yang throughout the deck with her sun and moon. I also find it a very balanced deck, maybe a little bit more feminine because she's a woman, and it does have that a lot of beauty to it. But I find it to be a very balanced deck. So let's take a look at the deck itself. I'm gonna turn it over. Now I put this in order of the major arcana going into the minor arcana. I start with swords, go to wands, go to cups, and finalize with pentacles. So that's going to be the order we walk through. And as we go through, I'll just let you kind of look at the card, maybe give you a little bit of commentary or connections I notice differ from other ones, and then put it through so you get to see each of the cards. If you want to fast forward, feel free. So the Fool here, traditional Fool, on that journey looking out and around, a little bit more of that hippie essence. Doesn't have the puppy on it, but has a lot of fun animals around. And I don't know what this is called, but she explains all of these little extras, all of the details she explains in her card deck. The Magician, tapping into astrology to find magic, really starting to play with this world and not be afraid of it. The High Priestess, she has that black and white pillars that she's tapping in between, helping her understand that the yin and the yang. The Empress is pregnant, so really representing creativity at its finest in this world. I love the hippie feel of a lot of these cards. The Emperor is pretty chill, which I like. This is just a really beautiful, playful deck. The Hierophant looks really young to me, but if you go through the reading, it still represents all of those key things: tradition, family, marriage. The Lovers, I just love this rendition of the Lovers. It has just an interracial couple here, which I just find to be so beautiful. And their kids have different lights. The daughter's a little bit lighter, the son's a little bit darker, which I just find so cute. I'm going to put this one up because I want to show you a connection with this in a minute. The Chariot, I love it still. It doesn't have the horses, it has bulls, but they're still black and white, pulling ahead. Justice, so this number 8 is justice, and then the 12 is strength, so those flip a lot depending upon the deck. I haven't really researched that. I need to. When I do, I'll put it in a video. The Hermit, I love this Hermit. It has all the Sanskrit on the walls, or hieroglyphics maybe. It's not Sanskrit, I'm not sure. Beautiful, really spiritual. The Wheel of Fortune, pretty traditional. Kind of more of a steampunk rendition though, right? I don't know what these symbols are, but she doesn't explain like specifically, or maybe those are the pages that are ripped, but they're on a lot of the cards. Strength, here's our, oh, it's an 11. Let me get those right. The Strength is beautiful. This girl is sitting on her wolf, just so calm, with the Kundalini snake coming up her leg, or little butterfly in the moon. Hangman doing his tree pose upside down. So much symbolism in the cards. I wish I knew what more of it meant. Oh, I love this one. I want to get a tattoo of this on my back. This Phoenix rising out of the ashes, death and rebirth. Just a great symbol for, you know, the burn being necessary for transformation. Art, temperance, that balancing. All of the creative forces between black and white. Okay, this is what I wanted to show y'all with. I love decks that show this just so similar. The beauty, love and hate are just such a similar frequency, and they're really more the same than they are different, and this really depicts that there's so much care. It's just misappropriated here. This is a symbol that they can rise above their issues if they just let go of one another and walk up, but they have to have faith. And here you see they have that faith in one another. They have faith in the world. They're breaking all kind of norms. So I just find that so beautiful. Tower with the all-knowing eye above it. Nobody falling out of this tower. I tease in a lot of the videos. I kind of like those depictions. There's a nice lightning bolt coming down here. Oh, I love this star. Just such a beautiful one. Star is frequently depicted as a woman in the water. This one's a little mermaid. The moon, she's actually sitting on the moon with those wolves, calling on up. Oh, this is a beautiful sun too. Just dancing in front of the sun. There's two little butterflies. Butterflies in the sun. The Ion, Judgment. This is just such a beautiful rendition of Judgment. Some of them can be a little scary. This one's just so beautiful. And the world is called the universe in this, and it has a, I believe this is Shiva. It looks like a Shiva if it's not, or maybe it's Shakti. Just beautiful, and it has, I believe these are a representation of all of the elements around. Can't remember. I haven't used this deck in a while. I haven't done many love readings in a while, but I just love it. I'm kind of the person I'm into. I've kind of taken a step away from this deck when love isn't right on my heart. The Ace of Swords, that mental clarity, has that Kundalini snake coming up it. Two of Swords. I love that she writes this as peace, because it's traditionally written as conflict, but this is like, no, I'm trying to find peace through my conflict. It's Three of Swords, pretty traditional. The heart's through the sword, sorrow. Four of Swords. Truce. This one's frequently written as meditation. He's kind of meditating there in his truce. Five of Swords. It's pretty traditional here. Defeat. So this is the element air in Swords, so you'll see a lot of air in the background. She does a really good job depicting that. Science. Seven of Swords. It's feudal. Eight of Swords. Interference. So this is where it gets a bit different for me. Even the Nine of Swords. I mean, she's typically strung up by her, like she could get out, but this one's just a bit different. Same energy, just very differently done. Ten of Swords. This is a very typical depiction. Okay, what I love here is that they do have the royal family. They have the princess, they have the prince, the queen, and the king. And so they make it more that royal family that it is traditionally. So she does a good job of making it new age, but keeping the traditions. Fast communication, that Princess of Swords going in there, cutting it up. Prince of Swords, fast action. He's got his eagle on the front. And still you see the whole backgrounds are the same for the suits, which I really love. Queen of Swords. She doesn't look as cold and calculated. I mean, I guess she is holding the head, but she kind of looks still friendly, which I do believe the Queen of Swords. All the queens are still friendly. And that king going in there, fierce. This is entourage. Right now we're going into the wands, which is really depicted by the fire, and it is connected with the element fire. That fiery new beginning. So again, the aces don't have the wording on it, but the other ones do. It's just so beautiful. Little juggler. Four of Wands. Not the one that typically has a lot of marriage elements to it. This one kind of has that still feel to it. I get confused sometimes when I'm going through decks, so I apologize. Don't let me confuse you, it's me. Fives are always a hiccup, right? Six, they usually make it through. This is interesting. I don't remember this one. These don't really have the fire in it so much, eh? I guess they're just demonstrating fire through focus, which I'm a yogi, and that's the third chakra, Manipura. Fire and focus are intertwined. Oh, but these have the heavy wands. Okay. Okay. I didn't really review them before I review with you. I want this to be more authentic. this has that burden, but she's kind of chilling with it. I love this because it's oppression, yeah, but Ten of Wands is also like, pick the load you want to carry. It's not saying don't carry a heavy load, because that's going to bring you strength, but carry a heavy load that makes you want to align yourself and stay healthy so you can keep carrying it. Here the fire comes back, the Princess of Wands. Oof. Prince. Love all the fierce cats in here. Queen of Wands, sassy little thing. Then we got our unicorn, King of Wands with the black horse. Wands. Beautiful. Okay, so now we get into the cups. Cups is water. So you see all of these. Okay, I get through it with the fire, the sand, so it's always hot. Now I'm getting it, sorry. Ace of Cups. So the cups is water. It'll always be in the water. We have that Two of Cups, divine love. This is like filling your own cup. It can be relationships, but it's usually self-love. Two of Cups, those divine partnerships. Three of Cups, friendship, celebration, abundance. Four of Cups, typically just needing more gratitude. Too much luxury makes it hard to be grateful. Five of Cups, staring at those 3 cups in the water instead of the 2 that are full still. 6 of Cups, soulmate, nostalgia. 7 of Cups, debauchery. Too much of that devil addiction energy. 8 of Cups, walking away from the one that's not divine. 9 of Cups, starting to feel that happiness again, contentment. 9 of Cups, it's funny depending on the deck how it's depicted. Oh, and 10 of Cups is my favorite in almost all decks. Here they're just so sweet to one another. He's holding her, she's filling up their cups. Just admiring her. Princess of Cups with her dolphin. The prince is on his dolphin too. I love this Queen of Cups. She just looks like the Queen of Cups, just so sweet. Water is the governor of emotions. Air about communication. Fire, passion. King of Cups. He's got his little crab. I'm proud of my crabbiness. On his white horse. It's beautiful. Alright, now we're getting into Pentacles. Which this one's in a desert too, but I get this desert's during the day, so a little bit different. Alright, we got the Ace of Pentacles. Just a big old pentacle in the middle with some greenery around it because it is earth element. 2 of Pentacles, always balancing. Does a great job at depicting that. 3 of Pentacles, the works. 4 of Pentacles, he's got his magic hands with water, with light building in them. Looks like he has a universe in his hand. I find this to be a very sweet picture. Even though it's so depicted of worry, they just look like they care so much about one another. Success. Balanced out by failure, which the pictures are very interesting. This one, yes, but this one, I don't know. I guess it's refocusing through the failure. Prudence. Beautiful artwork, don't get me wrong, I just don't always understand the tap-ins. 9 of Pentacles. 10 of Pentacles, ultimate wealth. I love this one for ultimate wealth. Just like starting a family together, really beautiful. Prince of Pentacles on his black bull. Queen of Pentacles in front of her ram. And then finally the King of Pentacles on his black horse. So this is the Sun and Moon Tarot by Vanessa Decort. I love it. It's a traditional size tarot deck. It's very easy to shuffle. It's a great card stock. It feels great in the hands. It has a little bit of that slipperiness to it, so when you're shuffling, you know, some of them like to pop out here and there. Yeah, there we go. Thank you. Oh, 8 of Cups. Walk away. Walk away from what? From debauchery, y'all. So that's the deck. I hope you enjoyed it. If you want to see some more decks, check out my channel. I'm going to start off putting a bunch of decks up before I do my readings. I also will be offering readings and meditation, so subscribe if that sounds good to you. Like this video if you liked it, and comment if there's anything you want me to add in future reviews that I didn't cover for you today. Thank you so much. Namaste.